In this video I'm going to show you another lesson with Coach Charles. So Charles is here with the cap and the trousers, and this is me with a pink shirt. A couple of things that I wanted to work on with Charles in this one is just getting some more consistency with the ground strokes, so the forehand, the backhand. And also I mentioned to him some points that I'd been playing against Coach Fang, and I'd really been having trouble kind of changing my mindset between being very alert for a powerful first serve to like receive a first serve, and then struggling to calm down and reset again in time to receive a slower second serve. So he's come up with some really good drills in this session. I'll show you them in a minute to help me do that, to reset between each shot, if you like. So I'm kind of starting again and not rushing and not panicking. But the beginning here, this drill we're doing is just to kind of get some more consistency on the forehand, and you'll see he's going to feed me some balls that are kind of in the sweet spot, if you like, just to get the rhythm going, get the timing going. And then he's going to start throwing balls in different areas to like push me further wide, so I have to hit the ball on the run, and then some that are closer, so I've got to adjust my feet all the time and try and get in the right position to hit the ball. So yeah, here we go. You see I'm a bit wild there, hitting it quite far out sometimes. And the other thing I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to practice varying the path of the ball, so sometimes hitting it with more topspin so it has a higher arc over the net, and then other times hitting it flatter so it's kind of more powerful but it'd be closer to the net. So I'm trying to mix up practicing that so I can shape the ball differently depending on what's going on in a point. So you can see the different arc of the ball. Sometimes I'm hitting it flat, sometimes I'm putting more spin and getting it to loop over towards the back, but I'm trying to get all of them to land quite deep near the baseline. And now you can see Charles is starting to vary where he's feeding the ball. So that one's pushing me out wide and he's putting it towards me, so I've got to get my feet out of the way. Another one out wide. So these drills have been really good because they're just helping me adjust my feet better and kind of adapt the shots depending on where my balance is, if I'm being pushed out wide or if I'm having to kind of move my feet out of the way because the ball's coming directly towards me. And this drill here, it looks a bit weird because I'm sitting down in between each feed, but what he's trying to get me to do is, one of my problems is when the ball is coming at me and it stays low, so maybe the opponent hits a very low slice or it's just a low bouncing ball, then one of my issues is I stay too upright, and then it's very, very hard if you're upright to get that low ball to kind of dip over the net. So what he's trying to force me to learn is to stay low. So if the ball is staying low, then I need to get my body down low to be able to hit it. So that's the reason why he's making me sit down on a chair in between each feed, is to kind of remind me to, when I get up off that chair, to just stay nice and low. And you can see, how that practice works here. And you see I'm hitting it quite nicely there because I'm staying nice and low and getting down to the ball. And it's a really tiring drill because it's like doing a squat in between. You have to sit down and then get up, so it really burns your thighs. So it doesn't look it, but it's really exhausting, this drill. Yeah, you can see me there, he's struggling. we're doing the same on the backhand. My backhand is like wildly inconsistent, so they kind of go all over the place. That was a nice one. But here, yeah, Charles is just feeding me different backhands to try and get that consistency going. Now this drill here, this is why Charles is such a good coach, because he's, listen to what I said at the beginning of the session about how I'm having trouble resetting between a first serve and a second serve. So he's come up with this drill here. So what he's doing is he's feeding me, at this stage he's feeding me the backhand. So every time he feeds me a ball on the backhand, I just have to hit a normal backhand. But then when he throws it to my forehand, I have to volley it back to him. And the thing with when you're volleying is, you have to be calm to control a volley. It's like you have to slow down everything. You have to kind of set yourself, you have to control the volley, and obviously you're not hitting it hard. I'm just volleying it back to Charles, who's only a couple of meters away. So what he's drilling into me here is like going from like that high tempo, like backhand to then reset, slow everything down immediately for a nice controlled volley, and then go again, backhand, and because he's doing it randomly, I never know when he's going to make me do the volley. So he's kind of really training me to be more reactive, and just rather than sort of guessing and getting myself all worked up, he's just letting me reset each time and just see what the feed is and then reacting to that. So if this was against an opponent, it would be, resetting in between first serve and second serve, and just dealing with the ball that's actually coming, rather than, over analysing and over guessing what I think is going to happen and getting myself kind of prepared in the wrong way. It's just, resetting, staying calm, and then just reacting to what's actually going on. So I really think this is a great drill, and hopefully it's going to help with the point play. So you can see here, feeding the backhand, and then there's a volley. So I have to control it. So now I'm hitting a hard backhand, another one, and then there I've got to slow it all down, do a nice volley. And then there, so it's kind of randomly he's doing it. Then another volley there, another backhand. And you can see as well, like when my mind is taken off of the backhand, because I'm thinking, I wonder when he's going to throw me one to volley. Because I'm almost like distracted by that, suddenly I'm starting to hit the backhand so much better because I'm not overthinking it. And I find a lot of the stuff with tennis is about just, learning the technique and then letting the instinct take over, rather than like over-analysing it and overthinking it. As soon as I start overthinking a shot, I always mess it up. But yeah, I really like this drill. It's really, really tiring, and it's good. Like, gets your brain kind of confused, because you're switching between hitting it hard and then controlling these really soft, short volleys. But it works really well. See there, like a nice backhand at the end. Some of those ones where I'm hitting it way too far out, it's because I'm not controlling the racket face. I'm kind of opening the racket face up, and that's why it's going so high. So like my backhand technique still needs some work to be consistent, but it's definitely improving. And now we're doing the same thing, but we're doing it on the forehand side. So these are all forehands, and then I've got to slow everything down and do a controlled backhand volley like that one. Yeah, you can see how tired I'm getting. You can see I'm hitting the ball really well with the forehand there, and then, just about slowing everything down to control that backhand volley. That was a better volley. But I really like this drill. So it really gets you to, just be more reactive and get out of your own head. You know, so doing this, I'm really not thinking about the forehand stroke. You know, I'm just letting the instinct take over, because I'm more like thinking of when am I going to have to slow everything down for the volley. You know, I'm hitting some nice forehands there, like 60-mile-an-hour forehands. I can see my legs are starting to get tired here. I'm starting to move a bit slow. I'm not getting into the right position, which is why the shots are becoming a bit wayward. Some going out, some going in the net. That one going miles out. It's because my legs are just gone. You know, with the sitting down exercise in the chair and then followed up by this, like my thighs are just burning by this point. You know, my heart rate is getting up to like in the 170s here. You can see me like having to bend down at the end of that. Each time we do a set of balls, by the end I'm absolutely dying. You know, I can see, like, looking back, that my movement is getting so much better. Even when I'm tired, I'm moving my legs much better than I was. I'm getting better in getting into the right position. And more consistency. Oh, he says as he smashes one out. I think I can see myself really getting tired here. A couple of good shots at the end there. My legs are starting to move quite slowly. Okay, this drill here, it's quite hard to see from this angle, but what's going on here is that Charles is feeding it to me. The first shot, after the first feed, I'm supposed to hit it back to Charles, and then what he's doing is he's volleying it, but he's volleying it down into the ground on his side of the net. And like I say, it's difficult to see from this angle, but what that does is it puts some really weird spin on the ball. So it makes it quite random. So sometimes when the ball lands on my side of the net, it's going to really jump up and like move very quickly off the ground. And sometimes it's very slow and it will stay low. So it makes it kind of really random. And it's a really good exercise, because it's very difficult to know what kind of ball is going to come at you, because it's not being hit like normal. Normally, the opponent isn't hitting the ball down into the ground on their side of the net. You know, it's normally bouncing first on your side of the net. So it's kind of weird, and it feels weird to go through this drill. But I really like it, because it keeps everything so random. You have to keep kind of anticipating and just like reacting to what's coming at you. And the goal is, like, after Charles has fed the ball to me that first time, I've hit it back to Charles, he's starting to do these kind of strange volleys into the ground, and then I've just got to try and hit a winner. So I'm really trying to, you know, hit it as hard as I can and get it past Charles, basically. So that's what the drill is. So he's feeding it, I'm hitting one back to Charles, or I was supposed to hit one back to Charles there, and now he's doing these weird volleys and I've got to try and hit a winner. So feeding it to me, hit it back to him, weird volley, and then I'm trying to get it past him here. And I think I'm just trying a bit too hard, and so I'm hitting it into the net. This is a high one. So that was a nice shot. Again, that's a nice one. really well. I don't know why the software the app didn't pick up the speed of that one. I hit that one really hard. Sometimes you can just feel it where it hits on the racket. You just hit it sometimes right in the middle of the racket, and you just feel the power of it. So I can see with a lot of these that go into the net, the issue is I'm getting my body weight in the wrong place. I'm sometimes falling backwards, which is why I lose the power. That one, I'm just not moving my feet. I think I'm getting really tired here. I can just see my legs going. As soon as I start looking really flat-footed, yeah, that's the end of the session. And I can tell by the end there, yeah, when I stop moving my feet, I go from being on my toes and kind of bouncing around to just like flat-footed and barely moving my feet. And as soon as my legs stop working, the shots just, you know, go horribly wrong because I'm just not getting into the right position to hit them. So obviously, you know, that's something that's so important, is having a good fitness level so your legs don't get so tired. And this is just a 1 hour session and I'm absolutely knackered by the end of it. I really don't know how people play like 5 sets. It's quite incredible. But yeah, so a really good session from Charles there, and I hope that, you know, that staying low drill and that resetting drill and some of those passing shots we're practicing at the end there is all going to help, you know, when I play the next set of points against somebody.